Okay, I'm here and I'm so excited to be with you again today, this week, for our second time. Welcome back to Wisdom from Within, where mindset meets body set, and where we allow our body's wisdom to inform how we show up in the world and the decisions that we make for ourselves. Hello, hello. I'm seeing people come in. I'm so happy that you're here. So just to repeat, this is really where we have the opportunity to pay attention to our body's wisdom so that we can reconnect and remember that there is so much truth inside of us. There's so much intelligence to connect with, to lead from, for our children, for our teams at work, and for ourselves, for our relationships. Every kind of leadership you could think of is the core of it all really stems from true, authentic, honest leadership, something that we're all looking for in our day-to-day life. So this is a place for us to really remember that it's a real thing, that we have this innate intelligence within us. So each week we're going to dive into what does that intelligence look like? What does it mean for all of us? Because we do all come from our own life experience with our own breadth and vocabulary of wisdom. And it's this place where I want to share it. I want to invite you into the conversation. So I'm going to be having guests each week, or I'll show up by myself to share what I know to be true, different things that I've learned, resources that I've come across. I'm going to pour into you because it is truly my mission to help you remember the power that rests within you. And I know that it's hard so many times. Many of us can't even connect to that wisdom from within because we feel so disconnected from it. You know, we do come into this world with this pure, authentic, vibrant, unapologetic soul. And as babies and even toddlers, we run around with this freedom of expression, asking for what it is we want and need. And we have this ability to just be fully present. And then, like I said, we enter this disconnection because life happens, society happens, pressures happen, parents have their vision for what they believe to be true about us, teachers, coaches, all of it. The pressures are real and our experiences are real. And some people have even more difficult experiences than others. We live with trauma and narratives that shape our lives. But I truly believe that it is our mission and our journey to find our way home, to find our way back. And this space is for you to engage in that process. And I try to make it for you as inviting and safe as possible, because when we can truly connect to those moments of disconnection and our life through a different lens of curiosity and compassion instead of judgment or I wish I didn't have this or that, but more an invitation to our past, we can arrive in our present more activated and knowledgeable about our life experience and be able to learn from that and share our wisdom from within, from each other, so that we could be stronger and better together. So that's what this space is all about. And I'm going to be here each week for you, showing up with hopefully information that you'll be able to resonate with, align with, connect with, and feel empowered by. I've written a book recently. It's called Your Body is Speaking, and it's launching on September 30th. And this is for you to truly awaken that wisdom and unlock and heal and feel safe and empowered by all of the lessons and stories and practices within it. And I'm going to pull from that book each week and share some different insights from it, you know, with the hope that you'll take something away that will feel good to you. And this is one thing. So a quote that I wrote, I wanted to share with you. It says, by owning your disconnection story, and approaching it with curiosity, you can unlock what you need in order to grow into the person that you are meant to be. And I know I said that in a different way just a couple minutes ago, but I'm saying it again because I want to empower you today to tap into the disconnect, because it's these experiences that can absolutely inform us and teach us some of the lessons that we need to know in order to live our fullest life and teach our children and our teams and all the things I said. So I want to start by just doing a quick, I call it a body set. So there's mindset and then there's body set. And body set is really at the center of this work, bringing our body into the conversation, bringing our body into this conversation as a teacher, to teach us about our past, to teach us about our present, to teach us about where we're going, right? Connecting to that wisdom from within. So it's a body set position, kind of like when runners get ready, when a runner's ready to go, this is the body set position, getting ready to dive in, getting ready to dive into that depth, that understanding, that knowledge. So here's how it works. Maybe you're familiar with it and maybe you're not. I invite you to place one hand on your heart, just feeling your heart center, and place your other hand on your belly just for a moment and close your eyes. If, of course, you're in a safe place to do this, if you're listening to this in the car, just let this wash over you and keep your eyes open. And hands on the wheel. Just taking a couple breaths here, allowing your breath to settle and setting the intention to open up, to allow whatever is real for you to come forward. And just be with me in this moment. Just giving yourself the next 20 minutes or so with me to kind of dive in. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes and relax your hands. So one of the things that I talk a lot about in my book is this I should trap, right? We've all been there. I certainly have. Like, I should be as smart as this person. I should have scored a better, grade on that test. I should be able to connect deeply with my power. I should be able to be strong in this conversation. I should, all the I shoulds. And that is a trap that I think a lot of us can get into. And it absolutely can add to our disconnection story because it takes us out of our truth. It takes us out of who we are. And the way I see it is that when we are in that comparison, constantly, I should this, I should that, we're neglecting ourselves, right? The moment I realized that I was neglecting myself by doing all of those shoulds, I actually start to feel bad for myself as if I were my friend or my child. And I was like, okay, I'm not being fair to myself. I'm not being fair to who I am. I'm better than this. I don't need to do this comparison. And I invite you to notice. I invite you to notice and pay attention when you are doing that, when you're in that comparison mode, the I should this and I should that. It is so common, and it's a trap that I think is it happens all the time. So when you put attention to it and make that commitment to just say, I'm going to notice when I do that, something might shift for you, because I'm here to tell you that you should be exactly where you are. You should be in that relationship that people are telling you to get out of, even if you know that it's wrong. Maybe you haven't learned all the lessons that you need to learn yet. Maybe there's a bigger reason why you're still in that relationship. Maybe there's a bigger reason why you're still in the job that you're feeling like you should leave because of this or that, or because your boss is this, or there's a coworker that's doing, I should, right? Just allow yourself to just be. Give yourself permission to be exactly where you are, to really lean into, instead of I should, it's I'm in this fill in the blank because I'm meant to be here. I should still be at this job because there are still lessons that I need to learn. I should not be starting a family right now because I don't feel that I'm ready. Whatever the narrative is, lean in with I'm exactly where I need to be. There's so much power, even though this practice is all around bodyset and going deep within to grab that wisdom, to learn from it and bring it out to share, right? Especially here together with me. By the way, please text me, email me, DM me what your wisdom is, what you feel, what this is, if this is resonating, what is resonating, what's showing up for you. I want to hear all of it, all of it. It's all wisdom. It's all healthy. And it's a big invitation to collect. So I want to say that. I was talking about bodyset, and the practice at the core is this bodyset practice, right? Where we connect into that wisdom and the body. There is the mind, there is the mindset, and we do have a choice to use our words and connect our body and mind together so we are living the most powerful that we possibly can. So you can make a choice, instead of saying the I should, to I am, or I'm exactly where I need to be. So creating that affirmation narrative for yourself will really help you drop into the body and calm your nervous system so that you feel connected to where it is that you are, right? And so there's acceptance and love in that. When we're in this heightened sense of, oh my God, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, and there's all this angst, we live in this heightened emotional state. But when we can relax and say, I should be exactly where I am right now, the body relaxes. It gives you an opportunity. That actually becomes your invitation to body set, hand on heart, belly, close your eyes. Now you're calm. I should be exactly where I am. I am right where I need to be. I am open to receiving the lessons that I am meant to. What am I supposed to learn right now? Even then enter this conversation, right? So it can begin with that shift of narrative, drop into the body, calm the nervous system, and then invite the wisdom in. Yes. Did you feel that? Okay. So that is what I am talking about here. I want to share a story from my book with you where it was my should story, I guess you could call it that. And I'm hoping that this may resonate with you in some way. I'll start by saying that my should story stemmed from me measuring my intelligence based on what society defined as smart, which was all around IQ scores, SAT scores. There was this linear, very mathematical, logical way of being and learning in the world. And it did not resonate with me at all. And I created this story about myself that I wasn't smart. And when I tell you, I mean, I can still feel like the water's coming into my eyes. Like I actually feel so, because these things never leave our body, I don't believe. And that's why we need this body set tool to like help us like learn from it, understand, because it's never going away. I don't believe. So I really thought that I wasn't smart for a long time. And it it really took me out. It disconnected me from my truth. This was my disconnection story. And I reconnected, and there's a journey there, and I write all about it. But I'm going to share this one for you now. What JFK Jr., self-doubt, and a rock bottom moment can teach us all. My heart stopped, and my breath got caught in my throat. I felt immobilized and numb. At 27 years old, I received an invitation to go to dinner with a major celebrity, John F. Kennedy Jr., and his wife, Caroline Bessette Kennedy. And by the way, this was not an invitation for several people or a party where I would say like a casual hello. This was an invitation for an intimate dinner with the two of them and the two of us, me and my Ivy League boyfriend at the time, which I talk about earlier in the book. I was overwhelmed. And I say Ivy League because I thought he was so smart because he went to Princeton and all the things. I was overwhelmed with anxiety, not because this was the son of the former president, but because this proposal put me eye to eye with the darkest demons of self-criticism and self-doubt. My boyfriend casually mentions that we're having dinner with JFK. And for him, this wasn't a big deal because they grew up together. They were good friends. But for me, this invitation landed very differently. The moment he told me, my heart sank and my heart started pounding. My entire body went numb. Hearing JFK Jr.'s name instantly created, get this, images of textbooks and history lessons in my head. I pictured myself at the dinner table talking about world politics, healthcare, social issues, classical books. You would have thought that I was invited to a policy briefing at the West Wing instead of a friendly dinner. I could feel it like it was yesterday. I felt sure I'd be put on trial, berated with questions about books I hadn't read, grades I hadn't earned, and questions I couldn't answer. Crazy, right? Well, you could definitely say that I was disembodied, disconnected, completely out of alignment. I had created a drama in my head where I was the main character standing there ashamed, seeing fingers pointing at me saying, "You're not smart enough. You're not worthy. You have nothing to contribute to a conversation with someone like JFK. Like, what are you even doing here?" The angst flooded my body like a tornado. I felt like I couldn't escape. I had no sense of reality, lost in a nightmare of my own making. I ended up declining this once-in-a-lifetime invitation. And I did what I always did in moments of complete self-doubt and disassociation. I went to my sacred space, the shower, where I found comfort from the warm water falling on my body. And I was so ashamed. I slithered to the floor, curled up in a ball, and I cried. I wasn't just naked physically. I was naked emotionally. I held my pounding heart and my aching stomach, desperately searching for answers. I was deeply disappointed that I had allowed this insecurity to hijack my life so aggressively. I had been used to versions of this like throughout my life, but this definitely was the worst. I sat there feeling so small, the smallest I'd ever felt, and so ashamed. This was my rock bottom. I had given up on myself, and I was not sure that I was going to be able to recover. When we ignore our body's signals, it's like telling ourselves what you have to say doesn't matter. I'm going to share this fact with you here. The American Psychological Association says that ignoring our body's signals can have significant consequences on our mental and physical well-being. Research indicates that neglecting these internal cues may increase the risk of eating disorders, all kinds of health disorders, and mental disorders. Years later, after having 3 decades of experience and after doing a lot of research, I now know that by choosing to face our truths, face our disconnection story, that we are taking brave steps to uncovering our truth and critical steps towards living and leading a life of fulfillment and authenticity and success. Because otherwise, that stuff just stays stuck in our body. When we lean into our body anxiety with curiosity and compassion rather than judgment, we activate the part of our brain that's responsible for emotional regulation. Research does show that naming and acknowledging emotions can calm the amygdala, which is the brain's alarm system, and shift us from a reactive state to a regular one. And that is what the body set practice can do for you. Because when we body set, we deactivate that fight or flight response and engage in the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes relaxation and calm, which is what I was saying earlier. And when we have this tool, we're able to get clear and enter into a level of confidence that can help us move forward in our life. Going back to my story, as hard as the moment was, my body's reaction in that moment was the exact information that I needed to make one of the most important decisions of my life. After sitting there for a while, disappointed, frustrated, and deeply sad with myself, a presence came over me and I heard, how long? How long are you going to stay stuck in this limiting belief that has had you disconnected and disempowered for so long? And I knew deep down that I was more than this. So I knew that I had to rise above it. There were no easy guides, no ready answers, and no scripted path to follow, but I did it. I stood up and I took action. And when I surrendered, I felt this overwhelming feeling of calm. It was almost as if I was giving myself the biggest hug I had ever in my entire life. And I had no idea what I was going to do. I didn't have a body set tool. And I didn't have a practice or a framework. But I knew that this wasn't right. So my body was talking to me in that moment and saying, like, enough is enough. You got to get up and you got to go. So I decided to honor these parts of myself and lean in. And I wound up finding this incredible body of work about multiple intelligences. And it was that research that shifted my entire life. I learned that we have innate wisdom that is so real and actually knows more than the brain does, or doesn't know more than the brain does. It knows first about what our truth is before our mind does. The body's wisdom is so important, and it's something that society does not teach us to lean on. We have kinesthetic intelligence, which is our physical body's ability to process, learn, and communicate through movement. And we have emotional intelligence, where we can be able to tap into our own emotions, regulate, like I've been talking about, regulate our nervous system, and also have the awareness of other people's emotions. And that's where empowered and embodied like leadership comes in, where we can have this emotional awareness. So these two intelligences are innate, and it's what makes up our innate wisdom. And that is what this space is all about. That research healed me, and I'm now bringing it to you so that you can know, so that you know, or remember, because you do know, you've just forgotten, possibly, that your body knows. Your body is talking to you all day long, trying to connect you to this deep wisdom. And when you connect to that wisdom and make a choice to lead your life from that place, everything changes. You show up differently, you make decisions differently, you have relationships differently, right? You can manage yourself, manage your life, manage your children, manage all of it with a different energy, because it all comes from this grounded, authentic, truthful presence within you. So I hope today you feel more curious than you did before you came on, curious to know more, curious to pay attention to what your body's trying to tell you. And if you feel completely disconnected, by the way, where this seems interesting, but you're not really sure how to grasp it, I get it. That's natural. It's normal. And remember, society doesn't lean into these types of intelligences enough. And so this concept can be very unfamiliar. And I just want to reassure you that that's more than okay. And if you have full awareness, you're connected to your body's wisdom, excuse me, and you understand these concepts well, kinesthetic, emotional, body awareness, body wisdom, innate intelligence, all these things, great. That's lifted up even more, because it's about empowering our truth, no matter what it looks like, to be unapologetic to everyone in the world and to ourselves, to just own our truth, to lead from exactly where we are and move forward. And we need to, I include myself in this, have to stop the narratives of the I shoulds, because you should be exactly where you are. I celebrate you. I celebrate exactly where you are. And I want to hear about it. I want to know exactly where you are. So email me, jen@jenax.com. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on my website. You can find me on Facebook, all the things. I'm here every Wednesday. Now, next Wednesday, just so you know, might be a little tricky because I'm out of town on business, but I'm going to try very hard. And if I am able to make it, I'm going to post something on Tuesday so you know that I'm here, but I will be back for sure the next week. But I hope that I can show up next week. I'm going to try very hard. So thank you so much. I will see you here each and every week. If you're interested in being a guest in this way, I'd love to have the conversation. So please feel free to reach out. Thank you for coming to Wisdom from Within. I hope this is helpful, and I'm grateful for you. I'll see you soon. Thanks, everybody.